Dave is back at it, here to give everyone another Dexter Season 2 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, it's pretty important. If you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Dexter, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description for you. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further, just to stay away from any potential spoilers. This will be Dexter Season 2, Episode 4. Title of this episode is called See Through. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So there's a heat wave in Miami. When isn't there a heat wave in Miami? And Rita is really going to town cleaning the floor due to the fact that her mother is actually coming into town. Cody's having bad dreams about the Bay Harbor Butcher. And Rita says she hopes they catch him and hurt him. Oh, Rita, if you only knew. Captain Matthews wants to relate the information to the press about the Bay Harbor Butcher that they have. The fact that he's killing people that got off from murder, most likely. And Frank Lundy doesn't want him to, because that's the only information they really have about the Bay Harbor Butcher. And then Masuka has a break in the Bay Harbor Butcher case, and Dexter refuses to believe that Masuka will be the one that will bring him down. So Dexter goes to visit his new sponsor, Lila, and Lila's place is very interesting. Lila says she loves the heat. Dexter says he's partial to air conditioning, and Dexter is clean, Lila says, and she wonders why he called. He says he wants some quick tips. Lila actually steals her artwork from random places out and about, and she wants to know Dexter's deepest, darkest secrets. And then a woman is found dead, and Dokes figures out it was most likely her husband, who actually was a special forces operative. And Dokes is very interested in this case because of the fact that this person has ties to special forces, which Dokes does too. Frank Lundy wants the members of the task force to closely examine 3 bodies that they have, because these 3 bodies don't at the moment have any ties to murder, and that's the only thing that's not connected to the other, 15 is it? Because they have 18 total, I think. Something like that. And then Dexter says the blood revealed on the murder of the female was all impressive, as the shooting, it was like 3 shots in like a second. So that's pretty impressive, and that definitely backs Dokes' theory that the husband did it due to the fact that he's in special forces. Turning my page here. I took a lot of notes for this episode, as I do for all the episodes of Dexter. Pascal wants Dexter to analyze a shirt due to thinking it has a woman's scent on it. So she wants him to analyze it for a smell. Dexter says Masuka is the one to talk to about that. Rita's mom has arrived. Her name is Gail. Dexter shows up to meet Gail. Gail says to Dexter everything there is to know, or she wants to know everything there is to know about him. And Dexter just says, well, I'm a forensic at Miami Metro PD. And Gail says the Bay Harbor Butcher has her seal of approval because he's only hurting people that are bad. Deb figures out one of the victims may have had something to do with murder. One of the victims that they haven't had a tie into murder. She might have found out something about it. And then Lundy tells Deb Lundy tells Deb he has a date. And he encourages her to do the same, have a date as well. She needs to get out, get off, stop working. Dexter tells Rita he went to see his sponsor today, and says she plays a little loose with the 12-step program, and Rita wants him to find someone else more manly, because she's obviously not too fond of Lila. Deb asks Gabriel out for a drink, and Gabriel's the guy that put tape on her at the gym, and she freaked out about it. And then Dexter happens to walk in on Deb and Gabrielle having sex, as Deb had handcuffed him because she's afraid because everybody might be a killer when she's in the stacking with him. And Deb actually thought Dexter was going to be at Rita's. Deb says Masuka found algae in the bags, which may pinpoint where the Bay Harbor Butcher keeps his boat. Because Dexter asked what was Masuka's big break. Batista is interviewing someone related with the last victim. She won't tell him anything about him being connected in some sort of murder. Dokes ends up meeting Curtis Barnes, who he thought he was meeting a friend of Curtis Barnes, but it actually turns out to be Curtis Barnes, the one that was the husband of the woman that was dead. And Dokes asks if he killed his wife, and he says, yeah, I killed Alicia. So Dokes pulls his gun out on him and says, turn around. Barnes has his gun. Deb asks Lundy about his social appointment. She also tells him she took his advice and got laid big time last night. Lundy says his date was horrible. Dexter talks to Masuko about the algae. Pascal freaks out about the smell on the shirt. Dokes says put the gun down. And then Curtis Barnes says he didn't mean to kill his wife. You had like 3 shots in like a second. How do you not mean to kill your wife? And they have this conversation about the only difference between me and you is, we come back from serving and we're flustered. We have a short attention span. We snap at moments and all this stuff. And Doak says to Barnes, after he says he didn't mean to kill his wife, that, he asked him if he was married. He's like, yeah, he left his wife because if he didn't, he was afraid he'd kill her. And Doak says Barnes is going to prison. And then Curtis Barnes aims his gun at Dokes, so Dokes has no choice but to kill Curtis Barnes. Dexter tells Lila they're done because of her unique practices when it comes to the 12 steps. Matthews heard about Pascal's meltdown. He tells LaGuerta she might be a real cop and says she's back in charge of the department. Yay! LaGuerta's back as the lieutenant. Yay! Batista tells Dexter he can't take the heat as they're looking at the tent. The tent where they keep all the victims that they found at the Bay Harbor Butcher. Lila actually shows up at the station and tells Dexter to give her another chance. And Dexter shows Lila the tent to show her monsters and evil. And Lila is actually impressed by it. She's not disgusted and horrified like he thought he would be, or she would be, and says it's incredible. Okay. She says the person is a human being just like her. Harry, we get a flashback of Harry, like we always do, of him talking to young Dexter about the urges. And Dexter seeing a psychologist when he's younger, and he wants Dexter to think of the right answer or what he would do and give the opposite response to all this psychologist's questions. And then Dexter changes his mind about Lila, and Lila gives Dexter a kiss as she leaves. Ooh, Rita's going to be really mad about that. Because Dexter, damn well he'll tell her because he doesn't keep anything secret. Batista goes to the woman's house that hasn't confirmed anything about her husband being a murderer or anything like that. He apologizes for discussing the memory of her husband, and she actually confesses after a little bit longer of a talk that her husband kept guns hidden in the walls, which obviously means he probably did something regarding murder. Dexter breaks the refrigeration unit going to the tent, and Deb is working out at the gym. She's lifting weights, and it's revealed that LaGuerta was the one sleeping with Pascal's fiance. And then LaGuerta tells him that he has to go back to Esme Pascal. Like, this is over with. And he's like, what, you just did this to get your job back, didn't you? And then he calls her a cold-hearted bitch, and she says, don't try and judge me, as you don't know the first thing about me. You don't judge me. You're the one cheating on your wife, which is true. Or fiance, I think, actually. That's what I meant to say. Lundy and Masuka arrive to find everything melted in the tent. Masuka says, good thing Lundy had him separate the rocks stored separately so they weren't affected, as Dexter thought the algae was actually on the bodies, but no, it's on the rocks. And the episode ends with Dexter worrying about the possibility of lethal injection. So, pretty interesting episode. I really like all the people in this episode, aside from one person. Really good stuff here. Good stuff from Asuka. Good stuff from Dokes. Good stuff from Frank Lundy. Rita was good. Gail was good. Cody was even good. Everybody was pretty good. As far as the score of this episode, I'm going to give it an 8.9 out of 10. And then I'm going to do a little different thing. I'm going to rank the character, or like the killer of the episode that gets killed, which in this case, Dexter didn't kill anybody. It was Dokes that killed Curtis Barnes. I'm going to give Curtis Barnes a score of 3 out of 10 because really, he didn't really do that much. There was really no reason why he killed his wife. It wasn't stated, unless he just got mad at her. But if you get mad at somebody and kill them just like that, well, that's weird. And he was barely in any scenes, and I don't know, he just wasn't that impressive for somebody that's in special ops. He should have been having a more elaborate plan, in my opinion. So let me know what you think about that. And then the standout character for this episode, that the characters that are usually in episodes. I mean, take your pick. LaGuerta was good. Lundy, like I mentioned. Dokes, like I mentioned. Masuka, like I mentioned. I'm going to give it to Lila. It was probably going to be between Lila and LaGuerta. I do like Lila as a character a lot, and I think in this one she had more scenes and more of a significance, where LaGuerta was just there to defend Esme Pascal, and then you see her sleeping with, see her sleeping with Pascal's fiance. So that's my thought on the episode, and you've obviously heard what I have to say. Now it is your turn. So if you're a fan of Dexter or Dexter New Blood or anything that I have on JDev TV, and if you just want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, go ahead and smash that like button. If there's anybody that you know that would be interested in this, or if you want to share this across any of your social media platforms, please do so. Sound off in the comment section about your thoughts on the episode. What would you score the episode? What would you rate the killer, Curtis Barnes, in the episode, even though Dexter didn't kill Curtis Barnes? And who would be your standout character of the episode, besides Dexter, of people that are normally in episodes? And last but certainly not least, please don't forget to hit that sub button if you're not subscribed already. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.